on the hill. The officer standing here actually have a dual purpose. Firstly, of course, he will ensure the safety of the people working on the site. And second, also quite importantly, he also acts as a fire spotter. Yeah, he will tell, because he has a better view out here, and he able to see maybe some of the flame, some of the smoke that comes out from a certain place. So actually he will direct the officers to go to the locations. Because once you're in there, especially at night, it's very difficult for you to actually spot the fire. I was in there myself, and you can have a person standing maybe 5 meters away, and you can't even see him at all. All you can see is trees, shadows, things like that. Yeah, so it's quite difficult. So basically, first he will actually identify which sector the smoke or the fire he has seen. Okay, for example, let's say he see the fire is at sector 2. Okay, sector 2 at the bottom. Sector 2 at the bottom. Then he will actually he will actually have to assign who is actually working at sector 2 right now. He'll get in touch with the sector 2 commander. Yeah, I say, okay, sector 2 commander, can you tell me your location by shining your torch towards the block? So he'll shine his torch towards the block. Then I can actually know where you are. So okay, after that I will say, okay, about 10 meters to your left or to your right, there's a spot with the seaweed spots coming out. Can you please go and investigate, and if it's actually a fire, put out the fire. Yeah, even throughout the 3 or 4 days we are here, we are constantly doing such things.
I think previously when we were chatting, you used the term that the guys out there were actually like fireflies.
Yes,
was it really like that?
Yeah, actually, in fact, at night, if you've been here for the past 3 nights, all you can see is lights moving, and those lights is actually the helmet lights of my firefighters. So the whole thing actually look quite spectacular. You can actually see the whole hills with maybe about 50 people just moving along the hills. A lot of logistic challenge comes in the second day, because the area operation in the second day was much bigger. Okay, 4 separate location of fire, and the total locations, what I will put is around 400 meters across, around 70 meter wide. Yeah, and it stretches from one end to the other end. So basically, we have to have 4 point of entry. Yeah, because 1 point we realized that it's just not enough. We cannot just enter by 1 point alone. Okay, 4 point entry. We need tap water for 5 hydrants, and bringing the number of hoses out to on top of the hilltop. For this 4 point entries is already quite substantial. For the second fire, our manpower handling this was 150 as compared to the first day. First day was only about half, that's about 70. Another big challenge was, we know that we are here for the long haul. This is going to be a day and night operations. Although we managed to put out the flame very fast for the both day. Like for the second day, we have a fire call at 1:30, and by about 6 o'clock, we actually managed to bring the fire under control. What I mean that the fire under control means that you will not be able to see any open flame anymore. I mean, there's no open fire that you can see. However, the great challenge comes is to put out the ember, because if we do not put out the ember properly or sufficiently, the fire will rekindle again. And this ember is quite difficult to put out, because a lot of them are de-seated. They get found under the log, under the burnt timbers, on the ground, the leaf, under your foot. So we actually basically had to wet the place, turn the log over, dig the place out to make sure we get to this ember. And that requires a lot of massive manpower and equipment to do so. And we know that it can't be done even over a period of 1 day or 1 night. Yeah, so we know that we're going to be here for the long haul. Yeah, so basically we have to work out a shift system where people actually work on shift, because we can't commit everybody there in one shot. They have to work in a shift system or 3-hour shift. So basically the people go come out the hill, they'll stay there for 3 hours. Later they come out, take their rest, and another group of people will go out. At any one time, our strategy is to man 11 38 hose line, 11 numbers of 38 hose line. Yeah, in order to cover the whole area. Yeah, and our greatest fear, of course, is the fire spreading towards the Bukit Batok road side. Yeah, that is the other side of the hill. Yeah, fortunately, because our effective firefighting systems, or strategy that we actually prevent it from occurring.
So, I mean, all your men, I mean, up to 150 men at one point, had to also basically operate and work with the residents. You know, how are the residents here coping with your presence?
I think by and large the residents was actually quite excited about the fire here. I would say that because most of the time you have bushfires, but the bushfires are mainly out of away from residential area. Quite fortunate because oil and smoke will be much worse if they blow towards a residential area. So in this case, this is the first time I see. I think they see such a spectacular fire, and we also interview residents who stay here for a long time, even when this place. Around this locality was still a kampong. So this corridor on the first night, second night, this corridor you're standing down here right now, everybody was standing now, taking pictures, snapping their cameras away. You know, they bring children along, and many of them actually don't even stay in this block. The lift was actually quite crowded. They actually constantly bring people out here to look at the fires. By and large, I would say that the resident was actually quite supportive because our resource area was in fact at the foot of this block, at the void deck of 127. We've been here for about 3 nights, 4 days. I mean, the residents actually pass by, and after the second, third day, they still see us, and they actually come and ask us how we are, and you know. Quite glad that some actually expressed their gladness that after the second day they don't see smoke anymore. They say, hey, the smoke is already out, the fire is out, how come you are still around why don't you go back and rest? But I say that because we are still here to ensure the fire do not rekindle again. So I think the residents, many of them actually quite concerned for this.
Was there also at any point there was concern for the residents? Because I also remember you were saying that the winds were actually blowing quite strongly here.
Precisely,
were people even concerned or affected by the smoke?
Some moments in time when the fire was still burning, the smoke did blow towards the block of that, but that was only for a very short period of time. I guess the spectacularness of looking at a fire is much more than the smoke that you breathe in. Fortunately, at night the air here is quite still. So basically the smoke will only blow towards the sky. It actually never affect the residents in this block. So that was a good thing.
We are going to actually see what it's like on the ground. See you later.
Okay, thanks.